Hey there, my name is Midnight Solemn. If you want to learn how to do eyes, this is for you. This is the continuation from the first part. Or if you're just here to watch how to do eyes, that's okay. So if you want to learn how to do eye blinking like this, and eye smile, stay tuned, okay? We got this, we got this. Stay strong, don't give up, don't give up. Let's go. Today we'll be going through eyes. Now, we'll pick up where we left off. So, the other day we finished off by basically setting up the parameters and textures. First thing we're going to want to do, let's just jump right into it. You'll see, obviously, like I mentioned before, a lot of cursed imagery because things won't be clipped. So what we're gonna want to do now that the textures are set up is we can like clip things where they have to be. So the mouth. We want the tongue to be like clipped to the throat. So we take this, which is the back of the mouth, as you can see. There's also this, which is supposed to also be clipped to the back, but you're probably gonna have something like this. You're gonna want to take the ID, which is right here. Just gonna want to take it, press Control C or just right click copy, but Control C is faster, so Control C. You copy the ID, and then whatever you want clipped to that, you basically paste into the clipping ID. So we want this, and we want the tongue and the throat. You might not have a throat, but the tongue or teeth. Actually, I think, did this model have teeth? I actually don't think so, but yeah, we basically gonna put it into the clipping ID right here, copy paste it, Control V or right click, press paste, Control V, and then enter. And then basically what that's gonna do is keep it stuck within this layer. Pretty useful. So we're gonna do that for anything we need to clip. So if your model has something like Whimzee's where the hair is covering it, it might get a bit annoying to work with it, so just make sure you hide the front pieces. It's gonna look a little bit cursed. You can hide the ears too if you think they'll get in the way. I'm just gonna hide them. And the expressions, sleep expression, you can turn off the hard eyes and things like that, because those are also expressions or like toggles, so we'll work on those last. The tears, we can turn them off. You can work on them now, but I want to leave that for another tutorial because there's a little teardrop and I want to show you how that will be animated. So for now, we're just going to focus on the basics. We're not going to worry about expressions or anything. We're going to focus on getting the model done, I guess. So here is where you're gonna be animating everything. I know it looks scary, and I'll try help you. Let's sort out the folders so you'll understand roughly what everything is. So right here, you create a folder. Let's make 5 of them. Let's make 5. In the first folder, you're gonna want to name it head or face. So just name it head, and these 3. Angle X, Y, and Z. You're going to want to click on the first one, hold shift and then click onto the Z, and then you're going to want to drag it and put it into that folder. The second folder we're going to name eyes, which is what we're going to be doing today. IL open, IL smile, IR open, IR smile, eyeball X, Y. These, you do it again, control, and grab them, put them in. The third folder is going to be brows. The eyebrows or brows, you know. You're gonna want to, there's quite a lot, so you're gonna want to grab all of these and drag the oops that is not what I wanted to do. Okay, you're gonna want to grab these, put them in there. Next folder is gonna be mouth, which is mouth form, mouth open, mouth and cheek. Cheek is, if you're wondering what cheek is, It's basically the blush when you smile. My model has it. If your model doesn't have it, you can delete that, but I'm just gonna keep it with the mouth. I'm not sure if Whimzee wants that. We'll have to ask her. Maybe she doesn't. Most people prefer for it to be a toggle because it can get a bit too much when you're speaking because the blush will appear. As you can probably see when I speak, but I prefer it. And then the last one's gonna be body, which is X to breathing. You're gonna want to drag drop. Now these three, I would recommend deleting them. These are like physics, like default physics, I guess you could say. Well, it will default you to. And I like to animate them myself and make parameters myself. But if you want to keep them, you can, but I'd rather delete them. By right-clicking, set color group, or reset. And if you like, you can color code your folders to make it easier for you to visualize. So we're going to be working on the eyes today. So we're going to want to keep the eye folder open, obviously. I will introduce you first to deformers. So for now, I'm just going to hide, like, make everything visible. Give me 1 second. So I'm gonna have everything invisible because I want to explain to you quickly about how deformers work. We won't worry about rotators yet, but basically what I'll usually do is I'll grab the whole body. So you can select it like, oh, sorry. You can select it like this. What I'll usually do is grab the whole body, click up here, set it as a parent, call it body, or just call it body, and create. Now this will be where the whole body is, and this is what you're going to use to deform. We can collapse this, and then what I'll usually do is I'll grab the rest, and we're going to want to make another deformer, call it head. As you can see, all of these can go into the body as well. You have two separate deformers, and one controls the head, the other controls the body. Live2D goes by a system called parent-child. To keep it simple, the child is always affected by the parent. A lot of programs use this system. One I can think of off the top of my head would be SolidWorks. A lot of 3D softwares use it. That's really all I can think of off the top of my head. I think Blender uses some sort of hierarchy like that. I'm not sure if it's obviously probably not quite alike, but I hope that explains it. Maybe some of you who understand those programs will know what I'm talking about. But if you don't, it's okay. So if you've done these two, you'll see. I just realized the VTube Studio thing was in the corner the whole time. I'm so sorry. Anyway, let's continue on. So if you grab these two and you make another deformer and make it a parent and call it all of model and then create, this will control the entire model. And as you can see, these lines are going down. This only controls the head, and then this only controls the body. If you understand even a little bit, now you can probably guess. Anything inside of this that we make into a deformer will be controlled by this. It's a lot to take in, I can imagine, as a new person to Live2D. Try not to think about it too much. That's my first piece of advice. I'd say the easiest option would be for you to follow along what I'm doing. So, for now, I'm just not going to mess with any of the deformers. Usually, I'd set everything up. That's what I'd usually do. But I'm going to show you how to do the eyes. And then step by step, we'll keep doing more and more, okay? So for now, let's focus on the eyes after we set up those deformers. You don't have to, but you're gonna have to do it eventually. Now, choose an eye, right or left. Doesn't really matter. And the reason why is because these eyes are symmetrical. We're gonna end up copy pasting them after. I'm gonna focus on this eye, the right eye. Our left, the character's right. We're gonna want to grab all of these. We're gonna go up here, call this R warp, create, and now the whole eye is gonna be in this deformer. Now we're gonna wanna grab the iris and the eye white, or just the iris for now, and the pupil. We're gonna make this pupil. Just call it pupil. There we go. Now that will make us control the pupil, and then we can make another one off of pupil. Have pupil selected, make it a child, and call it highlight. And by pressing Control, hold down Control on your keyboard, grab this, put the center roughly over the highlight, then press Control again, and press Alt, and then drag it to the size. Then you can grab this highlight, just drag it into the highlight warp, and now you can control this individually, but the pupil is controlled by everything. I hope that makes sense. If you don't understand, just follow along. There's not much else I can explain here. Now with everything else right here, we're gonna make another deformer as a parent and call it skin. And then what this will do is it will make this kind of, looks a bit creepy, but it'll make it look more realistic later. So trust the process. You might notice something. The eyeball can go out of the socket. So what I'd recommend doing is grabbing the eye white, which is the white part of the eye, getting the ID, just like we did before, get the shadow, the highlight, the iris, the pupil, and copy it into the ID. So now it can't leave this area. Pupil has to stay within. I hope that makes sense. Now we can start rigging. I'd recommend hiding these so you don't confuse yourself. It's gonna look a bit cursed, or you can just keep them open. I'm gonna keep them open. Right, now you're gonna have to pay attention to this part really quick. This isn't too important, but you might want to bear this in mind. I'm sure you've seen models that can do something which is called eye wide, which means your eyes get wider. Bear in mind, there are certain webcams that can do that. This is only supported in VTube Studio, by the way. I'm pretty sure Pero you can't do that. But in VTube Studio, you can have it so that it tracks your eyes widening. If you have a webcam that's not that great, or you're using an Android phone like I am, it's not going to be great tracking. And to put it simply, you might have heard this before, iPhones use something called Face ID, which means they just track better. That's why you're able to have cheek puff, where you actually puff your cheek and it tracks it. And Mouth X, which I'll be teaching you how to rig those. I know Whimzee doesn't have that, but you know, in the future, in case she'll want to use it, and also just so I can inform you how to do it. Now, there are a few ways you can kind of get the almost illusion of eye widening. One way is to basically connect the eye widening to the eyebrow movement. So when your eyebrows go up, my model has it. A lot of models I rig have it, and I think it actually makes sense, because usually if you're surprised, your eyebrows will go up. I wouldn't worry about it if you're new. To keep it simple, if you focus on this IR open, Usually all you need is 2 points. So this point right here is when it's open, this point is when it's closed. So if I just give you a quick little thing, it's not gonna look great. This is just gotta be very quick. So if we just do this, it does not look good. We're gonna refine this a lot more. It's gonna do this. You can imagine if you're using a webcam, that can look very buggy. If you're using iPhone tracking, it'll be able to actually track your eye perfectly. And then this point right here where the eye is fully open, you can actually make the eye do a wide type of thing. If you're unsure, what you can do is double click with left click. What I'd usually do is put point here, 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 and here. Here, the eye will remain as it is. And then here you'd animate it widening. Again, if you're not sure, you can animate the eye widening, and then in VTube Studio, you can adjust it so that it doesn't look wide if you end up using webcam. Or link it to the browse. That's what I'd recommend. As for this, usually you'd have this open and then here close, but this makes it an instantaneous blink. Again, this is all like down to preference. I know some people like to put 2 points and then put one like here and then make the blink start here, which I've been trying out. I'm going to do that just so when the tracking software is tracking, it doesn't like wobble constantly, if that makes sense. If you can imagine that, it would like wobble quite a bit. I've seen it happen. So you might want to keep this area here. I hope that makes sense. It's up to you. If you want me to go into more detail in the future about this, I'd gladly love to. I want to get an iPhone. My next phone is probably going to be an iPhone because I want to get the Face ID tracking. I would love to get it for myself. That is pretty far to the future though, but one day I might be able to give a full tutorial after I've experienced having it myself. I'll probably know myself what the best is, but I've never actually used iPhone tracking, so I wouldn't know too much. But I know from hearing from people certain things. So yeah, just bear that in mind. But we're still gonna have eye widening, but I'm gonna have it linked to the eyebrow. If I do this, yeah, Pair Live has better tracking in my opinion, but VTube Studio is definitely better because you get a lot more from it. Yeah, now let's continue. So we're gonna wanna animate this. Just in case you didn't see what I was doing, let me redo this. Up here, this tool is a God-given gift, okay? It's amazing. You're gonna want to go in here, press the plus button, and make a few points. You can make tree. Tree is usually enough. I'm gonna do tree. And then right here, this last point, you're gonna want to animate it closing. Don't worry about the smile one yet. So we're gonna want to animate it closing. This will take some refinement. You kind of just have to see what you think looks best. I think that looks pretty good. Just like that. We might come back and adjust this later. And you're gonna want to take the lashes. I'm gonna make some points again. And then drag them down. Neo. If you have eyelashes like this, you might want to keep them like that, or you can flip them. That might be a bit too much. It'll make them look more two-dimensional. Because this part is black, no one's gonna really notice the flip. If if that makes any sense. Although it will need adjustments, but yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff. Just like that. Buggies! Now we're gonna want to take this slit part. Boop. And we're gonna wanna adjust it as well. We're gonna wanna take this tool right here. This little pen, and you wanna color in the dots you wanna select. And then you're gonna wanna take this, and pressing Shift and Alt, we can minimize it. Pretty useful. Just kind of adjust it to your liking. The bottom lash is similar. Put 3 points. We're gonna want it to move down. Oh no, okay. We're gonna want it to move down a bit. Now, so it doesn't look like a prickly mess. What we might do is grab these and kind of squish them in a bit. It'll just make it look a lot better in my opinion. This side lash, if we select it, let's put the weight up a bit. If we select it, we can grab it and just kind of flip it a bit. Just to make it look less spiky. Like this. That is so much better already. God damn. There's also skin we need to animate. I'll do that in a second. I'm gonna show you how to hide the eye. So remember how we clipped everything to the white part? We're gonna want to add points with it. Go to the closed eye, press Alt on your keyboard, hold it down, and then drag it like this. And then press Shift and you can move it down, and then make 3 points. And just kind of hide it underneath the lash line. Oh, you're gonna have to tweak this, so you're gonna want to move some of the points and make sure that it stays decently hidden. We're getting somewhere. Okay. This seems to be a problem. Move it up. Pay attention to the points that might be moving not as you wish. Move that. There. There. The eyes can be quite time consuming, so you're gonna want to take your time with them. You want to make sure you get it as clean as possible. As much as you can. I like that, I like that, I like where that's going. Perfect for now. Might have to come back and adjust it, and then we can deal with these like eyeshadow parts. Move it down. Perfect. grab the other one. Perfect! Yay! We did it! So now we have to do the smile. If you don't want eye smile, go ahead and skip, but I'm going to be showing you everything. So we're going to want to grab this lash, show it closed, add 2 points here, and then go to the end, make sure that's selected, and now we're going to want to draw, if you don't, or make, in anime, when the character is smiling, generally the eyelash will go up like this. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. So we're going to want to make that sort of shape. Just like that. Perfect. And we're going to want to adjust everything to do the same thing. So for the lashes, we're going to want to flip them back up. We're going to want them to do this. So when you smile, it'll go up. This will take some fine-tuning. This might take a while. Take your time. Just want to make sure you hide everything under that part again and just readjust everything. Add the 2 points. Bring it up. Just like that. Might want to move that down a bit. Perfect. Then you're going to want to grab this, move it back up, move that down, this down. The skin parts. So we'll grab this. Tuck it in a bit. The white part of the eye is a bit problematic. And boom, just like that, we have the eye closing. So we have the eye closing like this, and then when it smiles, we have it opening and closing like this. If you want to make the eye closing more realistic, you can make the eye highlight move down. So grab it and make it move down. It'll just give it more realism. And then the eye smile, you want to make it move up slightly. Perfect. And then for the eyeshadow, you can also do the same. Make it move down. Same with the smile, make it move up a little bit, and perfect. Now to make it even more realistic, for the smile, this is something you can do. Grab the highlight, grab everything you just animated. So holding control, you can grab everything. And then turn on the smile. Close the eye slightly, maybe like this. That's perfect. Press Control, Shift, C. Control, Shift, C. And then go to this point, press Control, Shift, V. Go to this point, Control, Shift, V. What did that do? It made it so the eyes close slightly when you smile. It just makes it more realistic in my opinion. So yeah, pretty cool. Now we're gonna do the eye. Yeah, we're gonna make it move around. A little pupil, like left, right, up, down, you know. We got this. We're doing it. By the way, I have a very sore throat. So, What you're gonna want to do is eyeball X, Y is what we're gonna be working on. Ignore everything else. Ignore the other eye too. You're gonna want to press right here, make 3 points, go to the left side, and then move the eyeball over here. Wow, you made it look to one side. Now you might be wondering, how do I make it look the other way? You can either animate it manually, or go to that point you just animated, click up here, click reflect motion, press reflect horizontally, press OK, and as you can see this is red, and it'll move it the other way symmetrically. Pretty nice. Now you can leave it like that, but let's make it more realistic. You want to press this X, we don't need it. Move this center point. You can also choose the type of kind of movement you want it to have. Like, this is very much keeping that straight. You can go with smooth 2 or smooth 1. Let's go with smooth 1. And we're just gonna animate the eye like this. Move these back. This makes it look very realistic. You can also hold Control and select these points. Click on the pupil. Okay, Control, select these points, move it back a bit. This will make it look even more realistic. You can also squish it in a bit. It's not that noticeable, but it's nice to have. And then you can reflect again, just like I told you, horizontally, and it'll do it on the other side. You can also move this in a bit more if you like, since this side is a lot shorter. There we go. Now for Y movement, we do the same thing. This point here will be when it goes down. Make sure you have this centered though. Make sure this is centered. Then we animate this looking down. And then we can reflect again, but vertically. And it'll go up. And then again, oops, sorry. Again, we can make it look a bit more realistic by just messing with that. You can make this move a bit back, a bit up, then reflect vertically. Perfect. Now, what you're gonna want to do is press this button right here. Make sure you have it selected. Now you might see this is like each angle. The corners look a bit off. So what you're gonna want to do is click here, press synthesize corners. XY should automatically choose it for you, and then press OK. And now the corners will be done. Perfect! Now, if you want to take that one step further, if you remember that skin layer we made, click that. Make sure you put all the points on. You can unselect that, work on the individual parts, exit this out, and then you can kind of move it so make it look like the skin is moving. So you might want to focus on this part. Control, move it, and then you're going to want to reflect it. You can reflect it horizontally again. I want to make this move up a bit, then down. But I want to select these, down. Now you're going to want to reflect vertically. Perfect. And then synthesize corners again. You can fine-tune this, work on it a bit more. You can make it so that this part doesn't move as much, which might add more sort of realism to it. Yeah, there you go. You got the eye done. Good job. Now we're gonna want to add blinking physics. That's gonna be the next step. Alright, one more thing. if you grab this skin layer and make another deformer and call it brow Y, and then open the brow folder and look for brow RY at 3 points. Go to this one at the bottom, and then you can make it so that, okay, we might want to select a different version. There we go. Move it down a bit. Like this, and then we're gonna make it look surprised. Just like what I was talking about earlier. This is how I would do it. Like this. And the eyebrow will move up down as well later. Now, we can also make this cat eye intense. We can make it very intense. So we could intensify it a bit by, when the eyes are shocked, making them kinda do this. And the highlight can get a bit smaller. Or just move a bit to the side. So the eyes will look shocked when the eyebrows go up. We're gonna rig that now just to get it over with, and now we can start with the physics. Wow, you made it this far, good job. Let's just make a new folder below the eyes and call it eye physics, and then we're gonna want to make a new parameter, call it IR blank. Now the minimum, you can leave it the way it is. If you want it to be subtle, you can make it 1, 1, minus 1, and 1. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make it 20. It's kind of like how I prefer it. And then we're gonna create a new deformer for the iris and animate it getting a bit smaller, and then getting over here bigger. It's gonna look a bit ridiculous. We're gonna want to do the same for this part, the people. Gonna want it to kind of blend out like this, and then we're gonna want it to kind of do that. Don't worry about the highlight for now. We're probably gonna make that separate. Now we're gonna go into modeling, go into open physics scene blending, add, we'll call it IR blink, press OK. Gonna want to go up here, press add, find IR open, press OK. Put this to 100 for now, or 100. Add 2 points, or as many as you like, but just add 2. And then find IR blink, press OK. You're gonna want to zoom in on the eye just so you can look at it, and then make it blink. So take this, make it blink, increase it. Just like that, you have physics, but we're gonna want to adjust them. You can keep them to default, but they are too jiggly in my opinion. So reduce that. We're gonna wanna, I'm gonna lower this, the reaction, and we can also lower the overall reaction. People look smooth. Now, the eye physics kind of depend on what you want. If you want a lot, just increase it. If you want less, obviously put less. If you want it to be smooth like this, you can keep it smooth. If you want, you can increase the shaking. You kind of just have to mess around with the numbers a bit. So minus 30, 30. Reason why is because I want it to differ from the actual pupil. So we're gonna quickly animate this. So we'll make it go this way, And then we're gonna reflect it. And now let's give it a shot. Might need to increase it. Way too much. I like how that looks. Perfect. I do like that. I do. Now, to make it even better, what we can do is grab this, make it another deformer, and then we can animate this going down slightly. Actually, I'm not happy with the thing I'm using, so we're gonna change it to cubism mode. Move it down, this down, this, and then up a bit, up a bit, down, like this. We're gonna want to do it for this part too, so we're gonna want to move it up, up, up. Oh, wrong one. Up, up, and a little bit like that. To the side. And now if we open the physics setting, it's gonna look a lot smoother. I like it. Now we're gonna make the highlight move. I'm gonna make the highlight separate, so we're gonna pull this highlight. I'm gonna make it -1 and 1 because I don't want it to be too shaky. I'm gonna make a new deformer for it, and then we're gonna make it move around. So probably we're gonna make it move left and right, just like so, and then we might just deform it a little bit to not make it look stiff. So we might make it squish a bit here. So I might make it move like that, or maybe we'll make it move like this. Now let's give it a shot. We'll call this highlight. IR open. We'll do the same stuff again. We'll add 1 point for now, and then we'll find the highlight. Increase. Looks very shaky. Perfect. Look at that. Make it quite slow, we can make it quite fast. I think we'll make it like this. That looks perfect. There we go. I'm happy with how that looks. You could also make the skin move a bit which I'm gonna do now because I feel like that might make it really pop. So let's make the sort of these parts move too. So this, by the way, you don't have to go this far. You do not have to do this much, as much as I am doing. You do not have to, so don't feel pressured, okay? If it's too much for you, just skip these parts. I'm gonna grab that. This, select. Now it's gonna look even more realistic. Perfect. I'm quite happy with how that looks. Now, we're gonna wanna take note of these parameters we just made. So, as you can see, that was that. So we're gonna have the same naming, but instead we'll do it for the left eye. So IL, this was 20, that was 20, and then we're gonna call this I lash 2, that was 30, and then I light 2, this will be for the second eye, so 1, 1, perfect. And now, you can probably guess what we're gonna do. We're gonna copy paste the eye over. So we're gonna grab this all the way down, press shift to this. It's the whole eye. Press Control C, Control V. Perfect. Now it should be copied. Keep everything selected. Right click, press reflect. We're gonna wanna keep it horizontal. Press eyeball X. And if you want the highlights to move the same way, both of them to move left and right, you might wanna also select that, but I'm not going to for now. Everything else is okay. Press OK. Oh, it spawned the eye over here, so we're just gonna want to press Control and Shift, and we're gonna want to drag it in a straight line over the other eye. Now you're wondering probably, it's blinking on the same one, so you can't have one eye closed, one eye open. So what you can do is press right here. Keep everything selected, by the way, just keep everything selected. Press here, drop down menu, change it to IL open. Same for the smile, so IL smile. We can keep this can stay the same. Then IL blink. We just made those, remember? Eyelash 2. And highlight 2. Perfect. So now we can deselect everything. The left eye is there, and you don't have to re-rig anything. So now you can delete the other eye. So this was the other eye. And these two, delete. You can delete those. Perfect. Good job. If you made it this far, whoa! But you have to do one more thing. If you go into the physics, the right eye is going to have physics, but the left eye doesn't. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to copy paste. So IR blink, you're going to want to duplicate it. You can name it IL blink if you like. You don't have to, but if you want to avoid confusion, just do that. Then you're going to want to change this to IL, and then you want to change this to the left one you just made. So IL blink. So now the right eye is like this, the left eye is like this. You're going to want to do this for every single part. So lashes, you're going to want to duplicate it. Lashes 2, we're just going to call it lashes 2. Left eye open, eyelashes. Eyelashes 2. So we're going to go to highlight, duplicate it, highlight 2, IL, and then should be here somewhere. Hold on, highlight 2. And then you're gonna have the other eye doing the exact same thing. So the left eye when it blinks, and the right eye when it blinks. Perfect! You made it this far! Good job! I'm so proud of you. That concludes basically eyes. I forgot. One sec. The eye you just copy pasted. Do you remember the brow Y you made? Don't forget to change that to the left eye. So brow LY. Brow LY. My bad. It's something very small though. Brow LY. Now that is the left brow, which we'll be working on next. Perfect. Good job. I'm so proud of you. If you made it this far, goddamn, you're a soldier. For the eye physics, you kind of just have to mess around with numbers and see what works, see what you like. You know what I did? You might have done something completely opposite. That's okay, if that's what you wanted to do. But you're gonna have smooth eyes, which track. You can also add physics to the eyeballs, moving left to right, if you want even more realism. But that's something very minor. I wouldn't worry about that. I've done it before though. But you've done the eye physics. Hopefully they look good. I hope they look good for you. I'm gonna try my best to reply to you if you need any help, and yeah, thank you for watching. The next part will probably be eyebrows, and I don't think eyebrows are too complicated. They're probably very simple compared to everything else, and then maybe I'll fit mouth forms into that, but we'll see. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned for the next parts. I'm very excited. I'm having so much fun. I feel like sometimes I don't explain things properly, but I hope you can follow along. If you have any questions, pop them below. And thank you for watching. You can join my Discord server and just leave a message, pop a message, or I'll try to respond to you. You can stop by my Twitch and ask questions, or you can just leave a comment here on YouTube. I'll be checking actively to make sure everyone's on the same page, everyone understands what's going on. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next part. Yeah, I'm glad you made it this far though if you did. Bye bye.